There's so many people over the years that ask me this question. They say, Daniel, how do I actually start investing in stocks? And in this video, I'm gonna give you a straightforward approach so that you'll know exactly what you need to do in order to start investing your money today. So please listen up. The first thing you need to do is to ask yourself, what kind of investor am I? There's two kinds of stock market investors. There's a short-term investor and there's a long-term investor. Now, a short-term investor wants to buy and flip. For instance, they want to buy a stock at $1 and then maybe in the next few days when it goes up to $2, if it does, they want to flip it for a profit of $1. Now, a long-term investor will know that if they're investing in a $1 stock, they're going to need to at least give it 12 months for it to mature into the profits that they eventually want. So before I get too specific, I want you to ask yourself, am I a risk taker? Do I want to buy and sell quickly? Or am I a more conservative person? Do I want to buy low and sell high in the long term? Once you understand your risk versus conservatism, you'll be able to make a decision about what kind of investor you actually are. Now that you understand your investment style, you now have to take the second step, which is to understand how much money you're willing to invest. Now, whenever you decide the amount that you want to invest in your account, you have to assume that that money may be lost. No matter what kind of investments you want to make, you always have to have that understanding that you can lose all the money. So whether you decide to invest $100 or even $1 million, you have to be willing to know the risk that you're willing to take. Like I said before, only invest in the amount that you're willing to lose. When I personally decided to invest in a stock market, I had $50,000 saved up. But I knew I wasn't willing to lose all of it. So I invested half of that money because I wanted to play around. You see, the stock market is a game that you can lose or a game that you can win. But the only way to play the game is to put some money in. Now, one of the major questions that people ask me is, Daniel, how much money should I invest? Now, if you have under $5,000, I don't recommend investing in the stock market. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you have under $5,000, that's a major indicator that you need to invest in yourself and also keep that money for any kind of emergency expenses that you might incur. I believe that the best minimum number to start with is $5,000 to $10,000, and the best maximum number to start with is $20,000. I only decided to invest at the $50,000 mark because that's when I felt comfortable with adding money into the stock market. The third step that you need to take is where it becomes practical. You need to look up certain stocks that you're willing to invest in. Now, before you decide to invest any money, you have to do research on potential stocks that you would invest in. So what I want you to do is to look up 5 to 10 companies that you know, companies that you've been acquainted with over the years, and ask yourself, what is their stock price? What are they selling their shares for? Now, a share or a stock is a price you're willing to pay in order to buy into a publicly traded company. Let's say we decided to pick these 5 stocks: Walmart, Apple, McDonald's, Amazon, and Netflix. Once you understand what these 5 stock prices are, you're going to be able to study the trends of those stock prices. When I'm talking about the trends, what I'm referring to is the fluctuation of the stock prices. So let's say a stock is $100. In 6 months, it might be $120. If the economy hits a recession, it might be $80 because that company is worth less than it was before. A person would be willing to buy an $80 stock if it was formerly $100 or $120 because they know that they're buying it at a price that they're willing to pay. They're buying it at a price that could potentially go up. If you buy an $80 stock and it goes up to $100, your profit is $20. Once you decide to look up your favorite companies, I want you to look at their past performance. Look at how they did in the last 5 days. Look at how they did in the last 30 days, or even 60 days, or the last year. Once you understand the stock price performance, it will be the indicator of whether or not you decide to invest in that stock. The fourth step is where we actually get started. Once you decide that you want to invest into the stock market, you need to open up an account. Now there's many accounts that you can choose from. I personally invest with Vanguard because it's one of the most trustworthy companies out there. But there's also other firms that you can look into. You can look into TD Ameritrade or Fidelity. There's so many options, you just have to do your research. Now you might be asking, Daniel, how do I know which company is best to invest with? Usually the best indication is their customer service. Now obviously you want to look at other things like fees and commissions. You also want to look at reputation. But to me, customer service is paramount. I want to make sure that when I call into the company, that there's no long waiting lines, that they take care of my privacy, and that they understand my needs. You have to figure out exactly what is important to you. Decide upon those factors: customer service, fees, commissions, privacy, and you'll know exactly which company to choose. Once you choose your investment firm, you need to add money. Now, I'm not saying that you have to start investing. All I'm saying is that you need to add money as if it's a savings account. Now, for me personally, I added thousands and thousands of dollars every month that led up to me finally deciding that I wanted to invest in stocks. Now, you can build up your account to any amount, but as soon as you add money, you get one step closer to investing in the stock market. Now, once you picked a firm and added money to your account, you need to take the fifth step, which is to ask questions. There's so many things that you need to know that you don't even know you need to know until you make the call. And there were so many times where I had to call customer service in order to ask questions. Now, if you're a new investor like I was many years ago, you're probably gonna have a lot of questions about the terminology. You might see words like stops or limits and ask yourself, what do those mean? Now, obviously you can research them online, but you can also have someone explain it to you for free. If you decide to talk to an agent, even if you don't have any knowledge, they will teach you so much about stocks within a short period of time. And every time you talk to them, you're gonna gain more confidence, and you're gonna be able to ask more questions based on the research that you did. Assuming that you've done all your homework and you've built the confidence that you need to start trading, now is time to actually buy stock. Now is time to build your investments. Now is time to make those trades. If you're a first-time investor, I would recommend only investing about 10% of what you have in your investment account. So if you have $1,000, I would only recommend buying $100 worth of stocks. And if you decide to buy any stocks, I would also recommend buying smaller price stocks. So instead of buying a stock like Amazon, which is multiple thousands of dollars, I would buy a smaller stock that is $5 to $10 or even $30 so that you gain some confidence. Once you decide to buy those stocks, you can check your performance. You can see how well you did. Now, some days you're gonna lose and some days you're gonna win, but either way, you got your stock performance in. Let me give you a clear hypothetical situation. Let's say you want to purchase ABC stock that's going for $10. Now you purchase 100 of these shares. 100 shares times $10 is a $1,000 investment. Let's say within a year, this stock price eventually rises to $100. That's a tremendous investment. You just made $90 per stock. Now remember, you're selling your stocks for $10,000, but you originally purchased it for $1,000. That's a $9,000 profit. You're doing pretty well. Now that you're a successful trader, you need to take the seventh step, which is to repeat the process. Once you understand what it feels like to make a successful trade, you'll gain even more confidence to say to yourself, you know what, that felt pretty nice, I need to do it again. So there you go, my friends, I just gave you 7 easy steps to start investing in a stock market right now. If you understand this video, and you decide that you want to become a stock market investor, then now is the best time to start. Don't start tomorrow, don't start next year, don't start eventually, start right now. This is the best time to make investments. This is the best time to learn. This is the best time to make money. My friends, if you got a lot out of this video and you really enjoyed this message, make sure to type yes in the comment section below. If you want me to make more stock market videos, make sure to type stocks in the section below. I look forward to watching you finally become the stock market investor that you always wanted to be. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.